and it probably tells you at the top of your screen, you might see maybe a red dot appear, and it probably informs you that this session's being recorded. So I just didn't want to think I was doing anything sort of surreptitiously on them. Okay, and then I'm going to take the sticky off my screen that tells me to start recording. Okay, so Weebly. Last week, so I guess a recap. This is the final session in our 4-part series on teacher or classroom websites. And even though we have looked at the product Weebly, pretty much session 1 and 2, session 1 we dealt with policy, government policy around what sort of information we can and cannot post. We looked at you had some resources given to you on the blog post about some studies that have been done on the value of websites as educators and what sort of achievement indicators those can lead to. In the second part, we talked a lot about the structure of a site and what components make a good site based, again, on research. And then we looked at the content. So when we have the components on the page like a calendar, what sort of information should go into that calendar or should go into that blog? And so that if you are going to do the effort and put the effort in, which I think by joining this you're interested in that, you're doing it in a smart way and in an effective way to communicate with students and parents, the community, and your peers. And the end of the third session, really, we had looked at Weebly, and we just kind of went through the interface, and I showed a demo site. Let's see here. I showed this demo site that I created using the platform Weebly, and we kind of navigated through it. It's kind of like a very general best practice site. It has what are the main sections that you probably should have on your site to be effective. And we kind of went through those. In today's session, in the next 20 minutes, you're going to watch me build this site from scratch. And that would kind of give you an idea of, hopefully, how quickly it is to make a site. And you, again, will have this recorded, so it would be a tool for you to, if you haven't already started your site, you can do that. And if you're still having issues at the end of this, then you always have me as a resource. If you're joining me from another district, then you have technology mentors in your district, and I can always, if you don't know who they are, I can always help get you in contact with them. So let's get on to it. So when you log into your Weebly account, you're taken to an area, and most sites have this. It's called the dashboard. It just lets you see at a glance all the sites that you've created under your username. And with Weebly, this also, when you notice I signed up, like we talked about before, Weebly for Education account. If I had student blogs, they would all show up here as well. So I wouldn't have to be collecting a bunch of different links and navigating to them. I see everything in this one sort of open look. What I'm going to do right now, so here's the demo I made. I'm just going to I'm going to add a new site. So I'm going to go add site. Just wait for a moment for the page to load up. I think I clicked too many times. I was impatient. I'm just going to refresh the page. Yep, there we go. Okay, so first thing we do, we enter in a title. You can change the title anytime. So I'm just going to put demo for session 5. Session 4, sorry. And type of site, I'm just putting under education. And category, I'm going to pick here that I'm doing a teacher site. And continue. And here we go, so use a subdomain of Weebly. This is the one you want. Now you can end up registering for like your own .com, like my blog is markbates.ca, so I chose to go with an easy to remember one. But Weebly's is nice because in here I could put my name, I could put the name of the site, and it will tell you if someone already has that. So If I go Mark Bates, okay, that's already taken. So I'll go and I'll put in my middle name, say Mark Andrew Bates. And that's available. So this one's free, and it just, for the students to find your site, all they would have to do is type this in the .weebly.com, and they'd be good to go. If you already own your own .com, you can transfer here as well. So, but we're just dealing with this one today. And we're going to click continue. And for those of you who joined us the last session, this site looks familiar now because it's the back end, it's the interface. So everything that we need to do or have access to build our site is in this horizontal menu up here. And this is a live preview of our web page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop out my site that I created, and I'm just putting up another screen for my own reference. So by the time you got to this point from the session, you probably should have taken like a sheet of paper and kind of mapped out what it is you want to have on your site, and if there's certain images and text that you want to use. I would have already had that all gathered like in Word files or folders on my desktop, so that when it comes time to get into the publishing phase, I don't have to spend a lot of time searching around for stuff. I know where it all is, and I can just get to the process of adding it. So when we look back on the site that we made, you'll notice it has a little bit of a different look, so that's the theme. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Design tab, and we're going to pick from one of 70 or plus themes. And all we have to do to pick a theme is you just click on it. And you can take a look. The thumbnails are hard to tell what they look like, so you probably do have to actually click on the page. And as you notice, it changes dramatically, like the color scheme, some of the layout, fonts, and things like that. But I'm trying today to reproduce what we saw last time, so I'm going to use the same theme. So when I bring the site from before over, you can see I have the same theme. I have the home button, and probably what we're going to do first is create the pages that are going to make up our menu. So on the last site, we had home, calendar, documents, like uploaded documents, helpful links section, and we had a contact me section. So we'll go into pages, and we're going to go add a page. And it says over here, so here's the new page we just created. It wants a name. I'm going to call this one calendar. And again, you can change these at any time. And on calendar, I'm going to pick the layout, the number 2. And the reason I'm doing that is the main layout is usually the one with the bigger, colorful image on it. This one uses the same image, just a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to take up all the space, because I want this area to be where my calendar is. I want to use up as much space, but I still like the graphic. Feel free to choose any of these. This is just, again, what I had chosen last time. I like what I see. All I end up doing is I go save, and now I have a page called calendar. Next, I'm going to go and I'm going to go new page again, and I'm going to create one that says documents. I'm going to use the number 2 layout, save settings, and I'm just going through this again and again. One of the things that's nice when you know what you want, what pages you want, is when it comes time to doing it, it's just a repetitious activity, so you don't have to go do something, come back, and, oh, how did I do that? You do it 5 times in a row, you're probably going to have a pretty good memory for it. So I'm going to add a page again, and this one's going to be called Disclaimer. And you'll remember, I think it was in session 1, it might have been session 2, we talked about needing a disclaimer on your site. So if there's ever something that goes wrong with a link that you provide, or something gets done to your page that you didn't know about, people have an understanding that, you gave them a heads up before time. And that text was also in one of the posts, and we'll be using it today. So I'm going to choose for disclaimer. I really want them to focus on the text. I don't want any image, so I'm going to go with the content 3. Save. And I am kind of popping over to look at the chat. So if you have a question and you don't feel like saying anything on the mic, if you want to type it, I can address your questions there too. Multitasking. And the last one was the contact me page. So I'm going to go back in, add new page, and for the new page, I'm going to go contact me, save, and the final one, this one, and this is where the video is going to come in handy because I'm going to try to explain this, but I hope I do a good job. This so far is a traditional website, pages that are linked in a common area. What we're going to do now is add a blog element. And the blog element is what we use as our home page on the demo site. And we talked before, basically a blog is a series of posts, so a series of articles that are added to a page automatically on creation. They're put in reverse chronological order. So they're automatically dated, and the newest one comes on top, pushing down the older information. Adding a blog to Weebly is just like adding a page. So we click Pages again, and over here, instead of Add Page, we click Add Blog, and it asks for a blog name. Now what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to leave that as blog, just saying blog. Some people sometimes call that news, but there's a certain way that I'm going to format the page where this is going to eventually change. So what I'm going to do is leave it as this layout you see right here, and I'm just going to go save. Okay, so we have home, calendar, documents, disclaimer, contact me, blog. What I'm going to do now is I want the blog, which is this area, which if you look at our demo, very similar. I want this to be my home page. I want this to be the first page they come to, because it's going to have all the news that I put about like weekly or daily updates right here. So to do that, we're going to go into Pages, and we are going to end up clicking on, I'm going to move the blog up the menu. Oops. And then advanced settings. There. Actually, what I'll do is I'll stop that for a moment. And I just changed the order for now. I don't want to go ahead of myself. Sorry about that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the disclaimer. And we're going to add some text to the disclaimer, and then we'll come back and clear up the navigation issue, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to rename the blog home and delete out this link. So at the end, we're going to have home, calendar, documents, disclaimer, contact me. Okay. So we click disclaimer, and when we see this page, it's totally blank. It says this page is empty. Drag elements here. Elements are the name for these little pictures, little thumbnails you see up top. One of the ones I'm going to do is I'm going to drag, and all we do, so say if I want to add, and I do, paragraph with title. I'm going to click on that, left click, hold, and I'm going to drag it down to the stage, and I'm going to let go. And now we have a text box that we can add information to. And I'm going to type, all I did is to add, where it says click here to edit, I just left click once, and I typed in the word disclaimer, and where it says click here to edit, I'm going to take some text that I had in that document that it was an attachment that I had given everyone in, I think it was the second session, and I'm just copying it right now in the background here. And I'm just coming over here and I'm clicking, and I'm just going to go, I want to paste. So this could have been text that you had in Word or a text document or from a website. All you have to do is copy and paste. So right now, here's the disclaimer I want for my website. All I have to do, and I'm not going to do it right now, but all I would have to do is go where it says your website name, put whatever you've titled your website, paste it in there. So everywhere you see your website name, paste it in, and it basically gives things like proprietary rights. It breaks down submitted content, disclaimer of warranties, limitation liabilities, external content, all the legalese that will help you protect yourself. So when I've done that, disclaimers, now I'm done. I can go back in and you know, I could do things like take, click in this area, take that, go to my little toolbar, and I could make that bold, and I could make the font a little bit bigger, like make the headings bigger, like that. But it's pretty straightforward. And it's not a big sort of convoluted toolbar either. You only have a few options, which can be a good thing. So we have disclaimer done. So we click into documents. Now it says this page is empty, and you can drag elements here. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to take a paragraph of title, and I'm going to drag that on, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to call this helpful documents, and it says click here to edit. And what I want to do in this part is I want to add, I'm going to upload a document. I'm going to upload, the permission form that is the government likes us to have signed and placed in the CRs whenever we're going to put student work and student images online or in publications. So what I'm going to do here is, I know on my computer, I'm going to say this is consent form. And I'm going to highlight that by left-clicking, dragging, just like you would in any other document. And I'm going to go to my toolbar and choose to create a link. And you'll see you have a few choices. I could link this out to a website. I can make this a link to another page that's already on my website. Or it says I can link this to a file that I've uploaded. It says no files, upload a new file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate through my library of documents for that. And the consent form, I believe, is this one. Yep, it's this one right here. Open. It's saying over here that it uploaded that document. And you'll notice that this is now a hyperlink because the color's changed. It was like a black, now it's a light green. And if I was to hover the cursor over, it's now clickable. And you'll notice that in the bottom left-hand corner, it's looking for a certain file. It's looking for a PDF file now. So that's one way I can end up adding, and then so it lets me go to the actual file if I want to. So if I click it, so when parents click this or students click this and they're printing off the form, there's the form. It opens in a new window. You can follow that same process for all the documents you want to add to your site. It can be images, it could be PDF files, Word files, Smart Notebook files, same thing. So we have the disclaimer section done. We've started uploading documents. We could, you know what, I should have added a page on here called resources. Or sometimes people like to say helpful links. Where does it say to link? Okay, I'll go back over that. So Pam, you mean, so if I want to link a piece of text to a document, how do I do that again? Yeah, okay. Okay, well that's good because I'll show you how to do it with a hyperlink, and then I'll come back again. So what happens if you fill too many things in here on your menu? It automatically creates a drop-down. What I like is, I don't like this because I want everyone to see all the things along here. So what I'm going to do later when I clean up my site is I'm going to, like I told you before, I'm going to change this to home and get rid of this. So that should give everything on one line. And I'm going to go to helpful links. And let's say I want to share a link to the school's, let's say the ASDS website. So I'm going to click in here and I give it a title, helpful links. And I'm going to put in here the Anglophone Southern, the Anglophone School District South website. And I want to link that to the Anglophone site. So what I did beforehand is I actually went and I got that site, I got the address, and I just kept it in a notepad document. So I'm coming over here. So, I hope this answers your question. I'm going to highlight this piece of text. So I do that by left click, drag with the mouse, so that everything's highlighted. I go up to the menu, this little toolbar, and I click create a link. And in this case, it's a little bit different than a document. If you were adding a document, you would come down here and click a file on your website and link it to like that PDF, for example. In the case of making a link to a website, I just click here, I paste in what the name of the URL, and this is the long URL to get to the ASDS site, and I want to open it in a new window. And that's always a good practice so that when they click it, it doesn't use the same window that your site's in. So when they go to visit a site, they exit out of it. They actually close your site as well. So this opens a new window, and I go save. And you'll notice now that is a hyperlink because you see how the mouse cursor changes. And I click on it, and a new window will open, and that takes me to the Anglophone South school site. Yeah, like so. And it just popped in the background there. So that gives us the basics to get the link section started, the document section started, the disclaimer section started. The contact section. Now when I come into the contact section, and we look through the things that we can do, I'm thinking it's under more. There's now what I did here, sorry, I did that kind of quick, I'm just trying to be cognizant of the time here. This is something I can't go into, obviously, in a half-hour period, all the different little things that you can play around with and drag out onto the screen. But basically what I did is I clicked more. This section changes. Now there's a bunch of other things that I can pick from. And one of them that I want is the contact form. And I'm going to pull the contact form down onto the stage. It takes a minute to load. And now I have a form where someone can type in their name, first, last, their email, and their comment. And that submit button is linked to your email that you enter into the site. So I can put my work email in here, mark.bates@mbed.mb.ca, and it is automatically going to, when they hit submit on that form, it's going to email me. And then all I do is I click and I go, I want to save that form, and now I have a contact form. And I can click here and I can go send email, save form, and I could do something like I could pull down a paragraph of title again, pull it down on top of the form, and I could say, call this contact information, and I could do things like put my name. I could put information like the school address, what school I belong to, school address, the school phone, like telephone number, stuff like that. Again, just to give them a quick way to get a hold of you. The email feature's nice, and that way you don't have to put your actual email out on the page, which would in turn probably get you a fair amount of spam coming to your email inbox. And I know some people are uncomfortable with putting their email up online. So hopefully that will take care of that. So we have, and I'm hoping to finish pretty soon, so if I go over a little over, I'm sorry. So we have the contact me, we have the helpful link section done, disclaimer, Documents, Calendar. So there's two more sections to talk about. Calendar. You'll notice when I was talking last session, one of my main critiques of the site is that they don't have a native calendar feature that you can drag down and put on the page. To me, that's a huge oversight. So what you have to do, and I mentioned this last day, is you have to go, and if you want to do a calendar, you can do it one of two ways. You could do a calendar by typing in, static dates and just showing like a bulleted list, just showing, typing in on the days that you have activities, what they are, and just keep them in chronological order. Or you can sign up for a free Google account, sign up for a Google Calendar, and Google Calendar ends up giving you, when you sign up for Google Calendar, they end up giving you your own little embed code that you can add to the page. So what I've done ahead of time is I've copied this code, and what we end up doing is we take this little one here, this little feature called custom HTML. We drag this. This is probably the most technically complicated part of the whole process. We drop that little form onto the page, and it says click the select HTML. And you click on that, this little button pops up, you click on it, and what we should be able to do is paste the little piece of code that they gave us from Google, and then I want to align that center, and there's our Google Calendar. And now we can edit our Google Calendar right from our own website, or you can go into Google and edit it there, and it will automatically, your changes will show up here automatically. So that leaves us just with the blog. Now the blog, and I'll be done in under 5 minutes, so I apologize for those people who had to go. Hopefully it wasn't because of my lack of timing. So, when you come to your blog and you've signed in, so you've signed into your website, you're going to have the ability to add a new post. You'll see these buttons. The end user, the person who doesn't log in, won't see them. And you'll notice that on the demo site that I created, we had 2 posts, one titled Important Information, and one was titled Week in Review. And for time, I'm just going to put this one in and show you how to put an image into the page. So all we do is we click on New Post, the page loads, and it says enter a title, and I'm going to call this one again Important Information. And you'll notice that it automatically puts the date in, and it says here drag an element from the top bar, and we're going to drag a paragraph with picture feature on. And I'm going to just take the text that I had in my demo site and just copy it over just for quickness and paste it. Okay. A little bit adding there. And it says click here to edit. So if you want to put an image on your page, it doesn't have to be of students. It can be a generic image. They just say that, that an image will help attract people's eyes, keep them engaged on the page. So you might have a bank of, like, say, 10 different images that you just kind of rotate through that have, like, a school theme to them. They don't have to be of your classroom if you don't wish. Or just take a bunch of generic pictures of your classroom. Try to be creative that way. And it doesn't have to be with students present either. Just symbols that people relate to classroom, school, that sort of thing. So it says upload a photo from your computer. I just clicked on that. I'm going to go back to my library where I put everything that I want to use today. There's the picture of the classroom I want to share. I just click on it. There's the name. I click open. And now it's on my page. I can do a little bit of editing and stuff like that if I want to, but if I don't, just leave it the way it is. I can turn on some sharing options if you want people to be able to share this on Facebook, which isn't, now you would have to connect to your profile to do this. Being able to share on Facebook, there are pros and cons. One con, does the picture have to be JPEG? No, it does not. It can be basically any format. JPEG, usually is the best with photographs. A GIF is the best with like clip art, and a PNG is kind of like an all-purpose format. So either three of those, which are the most common ones that you deal with, all of them are good. You want to share it on Twitter, you can do that as well. You can turn comments on or off. You can approve. Now, this is something that you might want to limit your comments when you start off because you're just trying to get comfortable being online. But later, I would be a proponent of turning it to comments approved first. So someone would submit a comment based on something they've read on your site, and it holds it for you in moderation. It doesn't publish it online. It holds it for you until you either decline it or approve it. And the idea is you can start getting into maybe some conversation with students online, parents online, community members, and get a dialogue going with your blog, which I'm a fan of. And if you're happy with that, all you do is you say you want to publish it, or you can save it and work on it later. I'm going to publish it, and I'm going to publish it to my website. Okay. So it's now published. So if you were to visit this demo right now, this is what you would end up seeing. So hopefully that to everyone seems to be a pretty quick way to get your content up. We talked about in some of the sessions that during the day, if you're going to post like what goes on your room weekly or daily, you can always have a Word document open and just be keeping notes in it and just paste it into your post and click publish and you're done. If you need to edit it, you see like you made, like me, Margot can attest to this, spelling mistakes, I can click on edit post and make the necessary changes and then publish it again. Also, I could have probably, when I clicked on edit, I could give a category to this post. And a category like, I could call all my messages that aren't like sort of week in review messages, I could call important info. And what's going to happen, why is that important? I'm going to publish that again. Close that. Now, under categories, which I can actually change this and call it, let's see here. Let's see if it'll let me type right in there. Yeah. I'm going to change that to news topics. So what happens is, if a parent wanted to come here and see what the week in the reviews were, they would click on Week in Review. If they wanted to see just important information, they click on that. It filters out everything that's not categorized important information, filters off the page. So it's much easier to concentrate on the information that they want. And again, it's trying to develop a user experience that's very satisfying. So, just a super quick summary. Blog is done, calendar is done, documents, disclaimer, more, links. The last thing to do would be to take out, I'm going to hide this page from navigation. Actually, I'm going to delete that page. Yes, I want to delete that. I want to call this one home. I want that. I'm going to move, oh, and I didn't mention, do this quick. If you want to reorder how your menu looks, just click on the blue bar and just drag it up and drop it. So that will, on all your pages, that will change automatically. Probably, let's see, calendar, documents, help links, contact. I like that. So I'm going to go save. And now you can see, and I'm going to drag over. Here's the demo site from last day. And we're getting pretty close to the look now. There's some tweaking to do, but we don't have time to do that in this session. And Andrea, if I have a page as a work in progress, and I don't want to show it to the audience yet, yes, click the hide button. A big piece of advice that I would give to people, and that's why I kind of picked these pages as being the main ones right now. These are good ones to start with. If you can expand later on, especially the student publishing, go for it. Maintain these pages as best you can. Keep them as current as you can. If you're just adding something once a week, that's better than adding nothing at all. If you have a page that's not complete or doesn't have anything on it, hide it. There's nothing worse than going to a page, seeing no content or really out-of-date content. Parents will start to think, well, why would I bother coming back here? You want them to keep coming back. So I think that's a great suggestion. So if you go here, and let's say I wasn't done with the disclaimer yet, I could say hide this page from navigation, save settings, and now when I come back, it's hidden from view. Not from my view, but from the end user's view. And right now, that is really a pretty quick summary of how to make a web page or a website that looks like our demo site. This recording will be up by tomorrow, and I'll email it out to everyone. I'm not anticipating that. I know some people, if you've had, some background before with web pages, maybe from this session that was enough. But you have at your access myself and my technology mentor peers to come help you. If you get to this point, and if you're spending more than 5 minutes with help of that video trying to remember how to do something, that's 5 minutes too long. Contact us on link. If you contact me and there's actually a mentor in your area, I'll forward it along. I'll copy you in and forward it along to that mentor. If you're in my area, I'd be more than happy to come see you in person if that's your preference, or we can do it online whenever you have a free moment. Teacher's free moment, funny. So during the school day, it could be after school. I'm very flexible. So again, thank you for participating in the series. I hope you found it useful. And if it's about a web page, it's about incorporating any sort of technology into teaching, please contact us. That's why we're here. Okay. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. I'll talk to you hopefully soon.